All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Decide and Design. My name is Branden Lowe, and I just wanted to, right out of the gate, say that if you're watching this right now, I truly believe that you have something special inside of you. You have a gift that was given to you when you were born to serve the world with. I believe every single person has that. And I'm going to come back to that later on in this podcast. I just wanted to give you a framework of what I believe and how I look at the world. So I want to get into who I am, kind of my story, and how I started this podcast. So going back to my childhood, I grew up in a way that most people would consider normal. So I had a very strong group of friends. I had a very strong group of friends that I met at a very young age, and we instantly clicked. We are still friends to this day. And I also had a beautiful family. I had my mom, I had my dad, my little sister, my little brother. I'm the oldest, so I kind of take that leadership role in my family. But everything was perfect growing up. The only issue I had was with school. So I was diagnosed with ADHD in about, I think it was first grade, and that was pretty much my only barrier growing up. Other than that, my life kind of seemed perfect from the outside standards. But school was still a struggle. But one of the things, my identity became me being good at sports. So that's kind of like what I held on to as my strength. Like, I never really tried in school because I thought having ADHD and kind of having like a learning disability meant that I was dumb. And that's kind of what I held on to growing up. But my strength was sports. That's what kept me afloat. That's what kept my confidence up. And that's what kept me relatable to my friends. I couldn't relate to them in school, but I could relate to them through sports. And that was basically our whole childhood. We got into trouble outside. We played tackle football as kids. And I grew up very old school, and I was very blessed. I got to say, like, my childhood was not like most kids. It was amazing. It could not have gone any better. But I still had this like mini demon of like not being good at school in the back of my head. But that didn't really start affecting me until I got to high school. When I got to high school, that's when I started to kind of get pulled out of classes because I needed extra help and I needed extra tutoring. And my mindset back then was so damaging with school because I thought my mindset was, how can I get just good enough grades so I can stay in football? Football was like my thing. So yeah, my mindset was like, how can I just do good enough so I can continue to play? And that was such a limiting belief in my life. Like, I literally thought school was just not for me. And my self-awareness back then was also very, very poor. And that's why I wasn't really, like, some of you might be thinking, like, why weren't you worried about college and like your grades? It's like, no, I wasn't at all, because my awareness was just like, how can I play football? That's it. So going through high school, it was kind of embarrassing for me to not succeed in school. Like, it was hard for me, and it was something that I tried to keep a secret from everyone. And I think for the most part I did. I don't know if a lot of people knew what I was actually going through. And me thinking I'm dumb and being bad at school really took a toll on my mental health. I really started to believe that I wasn't meant like for anything, like successful. I thought the only way I was going to get through life was through football. And when it came to applying for schools, I basically, again, was just like, how can I play football? I will get into any college I can to play football. I don't care how much it is. I don't care what kind of money I'm spending. I don't care if I'm fit for that school. I don't know what my major is going to be. I just want to play football. So I ended up going to the University of Dubuque in Upper Iowa, and I was playing football there. And what happened was I had gotten a concussion my senior year of football in high school. And then my freshman year of football in high school, I got another concussion. So that was the first time in my life I started to question where I was going to end up with football. That and the fact that I'm 5'4". So I don't know what I was thinking back then, but I definitely wasn't going to make it to the NFL. But I thought maybe I could be like a coach. I just wanted to be around football. I wanted to be in that arena. But then when the concussion started happening, that was the first time football was kind of taken away from me. And I had to, it opened my eyes to school, and I had to think, like, what am I actually doing here, and what am I going to do with my life? So basically what I did was I called my parents, and I was like, I want to come home because I want to figure out what I want to do with my life. And I'm going to go to a junior college, and then I'm going to figure it out from there. So basically I left after my freshman year. I came home, and I didn't know behind the scenes that my family was falling apart back home. So I came home to an absolute shit show. Basically, my parents were getting a divorce, and my siblings were back at home, and I was away at school. And my parents didn't really tell me anything because they didn't want to worry me, and they wanted me to be able to focus on school. But once I came back, I realized, like, wow, I need to be here for my family. I need to be there for my siblings. I'm the oldest. Like, I'm supposed to be the leader, keeping everyone afloat. And that kind of became my mindset when I got back. I kind of put my life on hold, and I started to focus on just being there for my family. And basically what happened was that put a lot of pressure on me. It put a lot of responsibility on me, and what that did was that just the weight on my shoulders just kept pressing and pressing and pressing, and I already didn't think that I was meant for really success, and this kind of added to it. I felt like I couldn't hold my family up, and at that point I pretty much thought I was just a failure. Like, I thought I was nobody. And basically what happened was I started to drink and do some drugs, and I basically became kind of a loser, as some people might say. But I don't like to use that word because I think I became depressed, and I think there's a difference. So basically, that's what my life turned into. My life was just me going to work at a job I didn't like, and then I would come home and I would drink and get drunk, and I would do whatever was in front of me. So after that, that lasted for a long time, and that led me to probably the darkest moment of my entire life, and it was when I was arrested for underage drinking and public intoxication. So I remember I got arrested, and I was sitting in the kind of like a jail cell, but it wasn't, they didn't put me in the cell. I was just handcuffed to a table. And I remember they got all my information, and I was so disappointed in myself, and I literally was thinking, like, my life is just nothing after this. I don't belong anywhere, and this is it. Like, this is what my life has come to. And they got all my information, and it was about 2 a.m, and they let me go. They actually let me go. So I basically went home after just getting arrested for drinking, and I cracked open a bottle and started drinking again. And that was probably the darkest moment of my entire life. And although there was some other deep issues going on in my life, the drinking and the drugs were starting to take me over. And that's when I knew I really needed to make a change. So after that, my thought process was, I knew I wanted to do something creative, but again, I didn't think I was worthy enough. So basically what I did was, I was like, I need to find a job with good benefits and good pay. And I ended up landing a construction job, which is the job that I'm currently at. And what happened was, nothing changed in my life. I thought I would be happy once I found this job and I had these benefits and the pay and I was able to take care of myself, but nothing changed. I was still depressed. I was still drinking every single night. And I knew that deep down inside, I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to help people. I wanted to create impact, but I didn't think I was worthy enough for that. So basically, I went on to Instagram and I typed into the search bar, I typed in podcast coach, and I landed on this kid named Kevin Palmieri at Never Quit Kid on Instagram. And I was like, I kind of want to start a podcast. I have no idea what about, but I'm going to keep this guy in my back pocket just in case. And I saw this guy posting a lot on Instagram, and I decided to finally click on his profile and check out his podcast. And it was a podcast about personal development. So basically, I found his podcast. I started listening every single day, and I started to change my habits and change my belief system. And I started to gain a little bit of confidence in myself. And when I realized that this guy, Kevin, was basically had the same story I did, I was like, if he can do it, I can do it, right? So I wanted to connect with these guys. It's Kevin Palmieri and Alan Lazarus. I should have stated what the podcast was. It's Next Level University, and if you guys haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. They are incredible dudes, so down to earth, and they are changing the world in the self-help and personal development space. But I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they are changing my life. So anyways, going back, I was like, I want to connect with these guys, and I joined their Facebook group. The next day, a person on their team was like, we're looking for people to join our team and help us with whatever. I don't think they specified. And that to me was like, the universe was like, yo, here. Like, you need to be around these guys, and this is the gift right here. I'm giving it to you, Branden. Please take it. So that's exactly what I did. I reached out, even though I didn't have the skills. But I had the courage to take that action and reach out to them. So I reached out to Amy, who posted about it, and I was like, yeah, I want in on the team. I want to be a part of this. I share the same values and I want to change the world. And basically the sky was the limit after that. I hopped on a call with Kevin and Alan and we instantly connected, and it was probably the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in my life, because for the first time I made a decision to live a life that is aligned with myself, and it was just the start of a beautiful journey. And I'm still on this journey right now, and I'm learning, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I have all the answers and, I know exactly what I'm doing. But I think what we're all striving for is just to get 1% higher, 1% closer to our higher self. We're trying to stay in alignment with who we're meant to be. And I think, I know that that's inside of all of us. I know that we have something inside of us that gets us moving, and we have a gift to serve to the world. And I believe my gift is to help people find out what that is and pursue it. And I want to end this podcast with a quote by Jim Rohn. And he says, "You have two choices. You can earn a living or you can design a life. I want to help you with the second one. I want us to design our life. I want us to go after that thing that you've always wanted to go after. And we only have one chance here. We only have one shot. And that's something that I feel like we don't think about a lot because it's kind of morbid. And but it's true. It's true. And it's something that I think about pretty much every single day now. Now that I'm trying to create the impact that I want and get closer to who I'm supposed to be in the world, my truth, it's become clear that we only have one chance here, and I want to leave this life with no regret. And that's exactly why I've started this podcast, and that's exactly how Decide and Design came to be. And if any of you want clarity on what your thing is, and you want to live a life that is true to yourself, please, please, please do not be afraid to send me a message on Instagram or reach out to me wherever you can find me. I just want to help people, and that's the message I want to get across. I just want to help people in any way possible. So with that being said, I'm very thankful that if you're watching this, you decided to get on this journey with me, and I hope that I can be a part of your journey as well. So I'm going to be posting one podcast every single week, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it, and we can connect with each other and support each other in our dreams. And I think that's all I got for today. You can find me on Instagram at B_Lowe22, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Bye.